Hey everyone, welcome back to MetalDisciple.com's 365 Days of Metal. My name is George and this is day 100. 100 days. Wow. Did anyone think I would crap out before now? I honestly wasn't sure whether I would make it this far, but here we are in triple digits. I wanted to cover something special to mark day 100, and so I picked a band and an album that really helped define who I became as a metalhead. For me, and probably for a lot of people, this album is one of the most important metal albums since the release of the first Black Sabbath album. Did anyone hazard a guess as to what today's album would be? Without further ado, may I present you with Metallica and their third album, Master of Puppets. I clearly remember the day that 14-year-old me talked my mom into driving me out to Briarwood Mall in Ann Arbor so I could go to Record Town and pick up Master of Puppets. This was the first time I ever bothered to learn the release date for an album ahead of time so that I could get it right away. I remember walking into the store and seeing the small, insignificant display that featured the cassette version of the album. I'd heard the first two albums before, but those had been copies of copies. This was an actual, real copy of a Metallica album, and it was beautiful. I hadn't even heard it yet, but I knew it was going to be special. On the ride home from the mall, I popped Master of Puppets into my brick of a Walkman, those big-ass fuzzy headphones, and got my mind blown. Holy shit! Compared to the other speed and thrash albums being released at that time, this was a masterpiece in the production department. Nothing came even close to sounding this good. I like to boast that Master of Puppets is the only album that I ever listened to the exclusion of everything else. For months on end, all I would listen to is Master of Puppets. I devoured this album like no other album before or since. This was my Bible, my holy grail. Metallica was the be-all, end-all of my teenage life from that point on. Master of Puppets, of course, was the album that catapulted Metallica into the limelight. They toured the album opening for Ozzy on his Ultimate Sin tour. It was also the last album to feature the mighty Cliff Burton on bass. I remember laying in bed with headphones on, listening to Metal Shop when they announced the news that Cliff had been killed. I cried like a little baby. Master of Puppets is one of those albums that has been inked on my soul and makes up huge strands of my metal DNA. If there's another metal album that I have listened to more over the years, I would be very, very surprised. Even today, 27 years later, this album stands the test of time and still crushes the competition. Beginning with the release of the Black Album and on through the Load albums and Saint Anger, Metallica has had to deal with more backlash and being labeled as sellouts than probably any other metal band. Such is the price of being the biggest metal band of all time. When you're at the top, you're a target for everyone else to take shots at. Even I have had an on-again, off-again relationship with the band over the years. I enjoyed the Black Album when it came out. I even liked Load. I understood what they were going through. I myself cut off my long hair that year. It wasn't until Reload, though, that I started to question my faith in the band. I liked a couple of songs on Reload, but this was the first album from Metallica where I didn't love every song. I won't deny that I jumped on the Metallica-hating bandwagon when Saint Anger came out. I just couldn't find anything to love in that album. But when Death Magnetic was released, my faith in the band was restored, and I have been in love with the band ever since. What's that you say? Lulu? Yeah, well, no, I didn't like that one at all either. But that was a fun experiment for the guys rather than a true Metallica album, so I say let them have their fun. I didn't like it, but if they want to try different things on the side to keep themselves interested, more power to them. They've earned that right by now, wouldn't you say? Alright, I think I've talked long enough for today. Head over to today's playlist to hear some songs from the mighty Master of Puppets. I'll see you back here again tomorrow. Take it easy.